Okay, let's revisit Luke McCaffrey. Um, During the preseason, I did an analysis of Luke McCaffrey. So let's see how he's been doing thus far in the season as it relates to what I was saying. So, one of the things I said about him, first and foremost, was that he has an uncanny ability to uh, do well in the kick return game. And it's proving to be that he is a good kick returner. I don't know how, because he's not a speed guy. He's not a guy that's got a lot of wiggle. But his determination and his vision, and I would call it instincts. And you know how I feel about instinctive guys. You want as many of those guys on the team as possible. But that helps him to have great kick returns that put the team in good field position. So kudos to him. And let's go Luke on kick returns. All right, next up, I said that I would keep him on the team for sure, just based on his just will to be as good as he can be within his limitations. He's not necessarily a crisp route runner. And like I said, he's not a speed guy, but he has a determination about him. And also, he's durable. He's always available. I mean, contrast that to Noah Brown, who I was worried was going to be thrust back in there and diminish Luke McCaffrey's role once he came back. But unfortunately for Noah, he's on IR. So I think that this is going to be Luke's role now. And I hope they don't tinker with it and tweak it to the point where Luke is still sort of stymied in some way by the, I guess, principles of the coaching staff. Like, they have this thing about them where they are a little too stuck in their process when they should be a little more instinctive and feel things out and say, okay, hey, this guy is performing well. Let's get him more reps. But they seem to be really loyal to their process and really loyal to particular players. But anyway, Luke has done a good job in saying, hey, look at me. You can trust me. So I said that he could be like a Yoshivas in Cincinnati, where you have Jamar Chase and you have T. Higgins. So you know they're going to be a focal point, and Yoshivas finds himself having a good role on that team as a third receiver. And he's a key piece. And I think that with Terry, even Zach Ertz, and with Debo, and even Jalen Lane, guys like that, you're going to find that these guys, I'm talking about McCaffrey and Lane, they're going to have opportunities where they're wide open. And the question is, well, how and why? Because if you notice with McCaffrey, all of his touchdowns, he's been wide open. That's because defensive coordinators, they tweak their zone defenses. They tweak their defenses in general towards the key playmakers on the offense. Now, let me back up a little bit. Luke has done a lot of his damage against zones. And like I said before, zone defenses give you space. Now, the defensive coordinators tweak even their zones, and they do it based on the key playmakers on the offense. So when you have a Debo Samuel, when you have a Krosky Merritt coming out of the backfield, you're going to have some extra eyes on some of these key playmakers, and that's going to leave guys like McCaffrey open. And so And shout out to Cliff Kingsbury for realizing that, recognizing that, taking advantage of that. And so Luke McCaffrey, man, he is carving himself out a role. He's reliable. He's always available. Man, you got to have guys like that on your team. And he sells out to make a play. And he has good instincts. Like I said during the preseason, I want to build my team like the Golden State Warriors have built their team. They don't have the most dominant players, except, of course, Steph Curry is dominant at what he does, but he's not physically imposing. He's not the fastest guy from end to end on the floor. But they have, 3 to 4 guys in their lineup at all times that are very instinctive. And so you outsmart the competition time and time again. They outsmarted themselves on the way to championships. They weren't the most athletic teams, for sure. And, think of the high IQ of Draymond Green. So, that's the type of player I want on my team. Now, of course, you want talent and skill, but you can mix in some guys with talent and skill and instincts with other guys who specialize in certain areas and have great football IQs. So they're sort of building that in a way. And I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but as far as how I would build a team, I would stack up not only on talent, but a lot of instinctive guys that just have a knack to do the right thing at the right time and has a certain amount of awareness. So that's what you have in Luke McCaffrey. And now they have no choice but to give him more opportunities. And if you think about it, they're building those type of guys on the offense. Jaden Daniels, high football IQ. Bill Merritt is very instinctive as a runner. Luke McCaffrey. Zach Ertz. We always talk about the nuance with which he plays the tight end position. He always seems to get open. That's football intelligence. Deebo Samuel. Just get the ball in his hand and he does the right thing to get to the first down. You got instinctive guys. You got some talented guys. This offense should dominate. But first, what they have to do is to clean up the penalties. And then the defense needs some work, and I'll get into that in another video. So there you have it. That's Luke McCaffrey. And shout out to Ace30 again for the footage. Subscribe to the channel, linked below for Ace30 if you want to see footage of more players for the Commanders. All right, thanks. And excited to see his growth. Excited to see what he can do. This offense they have no problem scoring. They're doing a good job scoring. So I think they're like, top 7 in the league in scoring. So it's not like their offense is bogged down and they're punting a lot. We just got to figure this defense out. And I'm going to do another video on the defense here shortly. All right.